A mother sends her child to school every morning so that he learns something, moves forward, sees the world, but if the same school becomes the place of her child's death, can you imagine what that mother goes through? This is not a story from a film, not a fictional scene. This is reality. Piplodi, a small village in Rajasthan, where not a stranger but their own school became the cause of death of the dreams of innocent children. Imagine an innocent child writing his name in his copy with a pen. A teacher is explaining something on the board. Some are thirsty and some are playing hide and seek. Everything was going on like any other day, but who knew that this day would be the last day of the lives of those little children? There had been complaints of water dripping from the roof earlier also. Everyone had seen the cracks in the walls, but no one was ready to listen. This is a government school. This is how it runs. This is the thinking. This carelessness, this indifference. One day became the grave of 7 innocent children. The little shoulders on which there should have been a school bag now had a shroud. This was not just an accident. This was the ruthless story of a system that had become a corpse. I am Vipul Prajapati, and today I am going to tell you about the death of 7 innocent children living in Jalvar. That true story which will make your soul tremble. Because this is not just a story of death, it is a living question, the answer to which is yet to come in Piplodi, a small village in Jalvar district of Rajasthan. That morning was normal for everyone, but no one had thought that the same morning would bring the last smile of many homes. The people of the village send their children to school every day. That day too, the mothers braided their hair with oil, kept light breakfast in the tiffin, and sent their children off with a black tilak on their forehead. The children started walking towards school laughing and giggling with their bags hanging on their backs. Some were holding slippers in their hands while meeting their friends on the way. Some were jumping over the drain and moving ahead. There was excitement in everyone's mind as if there was a festival in the school. But who knew that this would be their last visit to school? Piplodi's government primary school was many years old. Once it was considered the most sacred place of the village, but with time its walls started deteriorating. Plaster started falling from the roof and cracks started appearing in the walls. Complaints were sent many times, but it seemed as if the administration did not wake up. The teachers also continued to teach in the same building every day, perhaps thinking that what has been there till now will last in the future too. The morning of August 5th was no different. Preparations for prayer were going on in the school. The teachers were sitting outside. Some staff members were busy having tea and breakfast. The children were made to sit in their rooms. Then some children saw that light pebbles were falling from the roof. A girl said to the teacher, "Madam, something is falling from above." Madam Meena, who was eating poha at that time, said, "Nothing is falling. Sit quietly." But the children's fear was increasing. As the amount of pebbles increased, some children tried to call the teacher again. But this time they were scolded and Madam locked the door from outside, saying, "Sit quietly, nothing is happening." She went back to eating her breakfast. This decision, which was taken in a moment, proved to be fatal for the children. If that door had not been closed, then as soon as the fear of pebbles falling from the roof increased, the children could have run out. At least some children would have definitely saved their lives. But now the door was closed. Their every hope was imprisoned behind the iron latch. There were about 40 children inside the classroom. Some were from the 2nd class, some from the 3rd class, some from the 5th class. All were looking into each other's eyes. Fear was clearly visible on their little faces, and then in a few seconds something happened which shook the soul of the entire village. With a loud bang, the roof collapsed. The walls caved in and the room turned into rubble. The screams of the children were buried in sand and dust. Someone's leg was visible. Someone's hand was bleeding. If that one latch had opened in time, then probably the stoves of many houses would have been lit. Mothers' laps would not have become empty on hearing the cries. The mothers of the village ran. The fathers came crying and started removing the debris with a shovel. In a few moments, a crowd of hundreds of people gathered outside the school. Everyone was searching for their children. Someone's voice came, "Where is my Roddy?" Someone was shouting, "Did you take out my Papu?" The villagers started the rescue operation without waiting. They removed the debris with their bare hands. Bricks were moved with their bare hands. The ambulance arrived a little late, but when it arrived, children were put on stretchers one by one. People ran carrying some of them in their arms. Every corner of Julvar District Hospital was filled with sighs and groans that day. Noise. The doctors and nurses were trying their best, but the lives of 7 children could not be saved. Their tiny bodies were wrapped in white sheets. The screams of the mothers started echoing in the walls of the hospital. When the media picked up this news, there was an uproar in the country. Pip Lodi school accident started running on the channels. Noise. 7 children died tragically. Rows of cars of leaders started reaching the village. Senior BJP leader Vasundhara Raje came. Education Minister Madan Dalavar visited the hospital. He immediately suspended 5 staff and said that I am the education minister. The responsibility is mine. The investigation will be impartial. The culprits should not be spared. The relatives and villagers were asking, could this accident not have been avoided? It was clearly written in the reports that the building was dilapidated, but funds were never released for repairs. The demand for repairing the school building was being made for years, but every time the file was suppressed. This accident was not just the collapse of a building. It was the echo of the collapse of the system. Some children's notebooks were found from the rubble. It was written in one notebook, "Mother, I will become a doctor when I grow up." But now that child is no more. Someone's uniform was stained with blood. Someone's pair of shoes was scattered. There was silence in the streets of the village. Where the laughter of children used to echo, there was mourning now. Many people asked the government, will any other school collapse now? Will more children have to die, or will a lesson be learnt this time? The education minister said that nothing will happen with just suspension. The culprits will be punished. But the people of Pip Lodi don't want just statements now. They want answers, they want change. Time is passing. In place of the school, there is only rubble now. The government team came, compensation was distributed. But the tears did not stop from the eyes of those mothers, and some other mothers look at the way to the school in the morning as if their child may return. But he will not return. This accident is not only of Pip Lodi, it is of thousands of schools in the whole country where the building is dilapidated. Where the teachers are careless and where the system is asleep, the lamp has been extinguished with Pip Lodi. But perhaps in their light, we all will have to wake up now. Otherwise, the next accident will happen somewhere else and the same story will be repeated again. I am Vipul Prajapati and I will return again with such a true story that will make the soul tremble on hearing it. Till then, keep your eyes open because anything can happen at any time.